Hey guys, welcome back to Last Minute Lit with me, your girl. Today we are looking at book 2 of Paradise Lost by John Milton. Not much to say about it because it kind of sucks. Anyways, let's get into it. So book 1 finishes with the demons building the temple in hell called Pandemonium and beginning a council on how to fuck with God. And then so book 2 starts with Satan standing up and speaking in front of the council. And he says that we're going to continue fighting heaven. Just because we lost one battle doesn't mean that we've lost. He talks about how this loss has only made us stronger. Hey Alexa, play What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger by Kelly Clarkson. He tells his demon crew that he's going to open the floor for discussion. If anyone has any ideas on how to take down heaven, whether it's a full-on war or something more sneaky and tactical. From our previous book, we got this lengthy description of each character that's in hell that's, I guess, noteworthy. So Malach starts speaking, but before he speaks, the narrator wants you to know that Malach is a sore ass loser. He hates losing. He's super salty about this. Malach declares that the demon boys should do a second open war. Let's go full in. Go big or go home, baby. Then Belial speaks. He suggests that not doing anything is the best course of action, I guess. Belial basically says we need to get used to living in hell. But however, Belial is not suggesting peace. Just disagrees with open war because he's scared of the future punishments. Next, Mammon speaks, and he says that God needs to be dethroned, okay? But he's suggesting not to dethrone him physically in open war or to do a sort of coup d'etat, if you will. But rather that we're going to take advantage of our freedom in hell, right? And we're going to create our own heaven empire, but in hell, like a fake heaven. And basically he wants to do this so that he'll never have to bow down to God ever again. After Mammon finishes speaking, the council erupts in the slow clap, and it gets louder and louder, and everyone really agrees with him. Beelzebub stands up, and the council starts to quiet down now, and they want to listen to what he says. And he says, look, dude, we're going to build an empire no matter what, okay? Regardless of war or peace. But he says that they tried war and look what happened. So we need to find another alternative to sort of place our revenge on God. And he says that he heard a rumor that there's another place outside of heaven that God is really invested in. There's a new creature called man that God created and that apparently God loves more than anything in this world, even his own angels. Beelzebub mentions that heaven is too secure to get into to try to do a full-on war, but that maybe this place is not armed, and that they should go and check out what this creature looks like to kind of get a scope of, does he have powers? Is he inferior or superior to the demons? And ultimately, they would want to kill the creature or corrupt them or convince them to come to hell. Beelzebub sits back down, and the narrator tells us that this plan was actually made and proposed by Satan. Okay. And then the council votes all yes on this vote, but then people are still staying quiet because nobody wants to volunteer to travel to this new place. And then, of course, super dramatic, Satan stands up and says, I volunteer as tribute. And then everyone goes crazy and basically has a party after because their plan is now ready to go. And then we get a really weird panorama, narrative panorama of hell, and these demons building the landscape of hell, and we see that they make mountains, and there's 4 rivers, and some of them are fiery, some of them are icy, and then just general spooky and dangerous nature landscape. And then we pan over to Satan, who's alone in thought as he's flying to the gates of hell. He reaches the gates of hell, and we're told that there's actually 9 gates. There's 3 made of brass, 3 made of iron, and 3 made of adamantine, which is actually not a real metal. It's fake mythological diamond. or in RuneScape, a really good armor. And when he gets to the gates, there's two people who guard the gates of hell. There's one very good looking woman, but she has like snakes and barking dogs at her waist. And the other person at the gate is an indistinguishable shape, a shadow shape person. And Satan approaches this shadowy figure and says, "What the fuck are you? And get the fuck out of my way, dude." The shadow answers, "Bruh, I literally know who you are, and you're kind of honestly an embarrassment. Like, go back home." As the shadowy figure says that, the shadowy figure starts to grow 10 times bigger than his size. So he's kind of this giant, like, titan, like, looming over Satan. And Satan also gets bigger and bigger and bigger to kind of square him up, and they're gonna get ready to fight. And then the woman starts to scream just before they're gonna fight, and she says, "Oh, father, are you really gonna fight your only son? And oh, son, are you really gonna fight your only father?"
Wait a damn minute.
So Satan and the shadowy figure go back down to regular size and back off from the fight. Satan says he doesn't understand what this woman is saying. He doesn't have a son, and he doesn't know them. And the woman explains that she was actually born from Satan's own mind while he was living in heaven, and he was an angel under God. Satan named her Sin. So they basically got to know each other. And Sin says that they got intimate, and when Satan went off to war, she found out that she was pregnant with Satan's kid. When Satan lost the war in heaven, she was sent down to hell, and she was instructed to guard these gates and to never open them. And she was given the key for the gates of hell. And while she was down here alone, she gave birth to Satan's child. And it was this shadowy, nasty ass figure, and she got scared and ran off. But apparently the shadowy figure ran after her, not in anger, but rather in lust. And you think you know where this is going. So this shadowy figure, she named him Death because she was scared of him. And Death basically R-worded her. She basically conceived these barking dogs, and they bit through her bowels and her womb. And in the hour that she conceived them, she also gave birth to them.
Child. Anyway, so.
And then they kind of live at her side and torment her for the rest of her life also. So anyway, Satan is so confused by all of this because he doesn't remember anything, but he believes her. And he says that he's not here to fight. He's only here to free all the demons from hell and to take revenge upon God. At first, Sin is really unsure because she was specifically instructed to never open these gates by God. But as she thinks about it more, she realizes that why would God put her in this shit ass job? Why would he give her the worst job ever and just let her live alone in hell? The other thing that comes to her mind is that God didn't even create her. Technically, Satan is her creator because she was born from his mind. She decides to open the gates because if Satan's plan is successful, then that means that she will be queen/princess of hell. And Satan sees this new world away from hell and flies through it, but the terrain is kind of hard to fly through, and he starts falling. And then this fiery cloud catches him. He finds out that it's this guy called Chaos, who's the ruler of the abyss, with his partner Night, Confusion, and Discord. Satan explains why he's like kind of traveling in the abyss, and he's not here to explore or to spy on Chaos, but he's only using it as a means to travel into the other world. Chaos says, "I know you, dude. I know who you are. You're pretty famous." And tells him that this new world is attached by heaven by a gold chain. And then he tells him which direction to go to. So Satan knows that it's not far and uses all his power to fly through the abyss. He looks back and he sees that Sin and Death are building a bridge from where he's flown through the path, so that this bridge will help all the demons connect themselves to this new world so they don't have to fly through this again. Satan sees this light with the little globe hanging off the gold chain and heads towards it. Here's some good points of analysis from book 2 is that while Satan is flying through hell and going to the gates, it's sort of this weird vibe of like colonialism and exploration, where there's kind of words of like merchant and spices, and it gives you that vibe. And you have to also keep in mind that this book was written in the time of New World exploration and merchants and spice trades and all that kind of stuff. So that's a really interesting point and a really good topic for an essay also. Another good point is that we see our first woman character represent. We want to focus in on how is she treated, how is she portrayed. This is another really good essay topic because there are very, very limited women characters in this book. And then the third point to mention is that the Demon Council in the beginning of book 2 sort of parallels the political and the government councils, and I think Milton's kind of like making fun of the politicians in the sense that like the demons are sort of considering what is worse rather than kind of reflecting on their own actions and responsibilities, you know? So that's a sort of parallel that we see. And that's it for book 2 of Paradise Lost. I hope this video helped you think of an essay topic or just general understanding of the book, because it's not an easy read. Leave me a like if you want. Leave me a comment. I love reading your comments. And if you feel like it, no pressure, maybe subscribe. See you next time for book 3 of Paradise Lost and any other books that you are having a hard time with and or are super boring, and I get it. Anyways, bye!